and welcome to Live with Val. Thank you for joining me. And it's a pool party, so it's super casual. And I think I'm going to make it a weekly thing, a weekly pool party, not too much splashing. Good to see everyone in chat. Hello, KK. Angel, good to see you. Meg, Deborah from Allentown, nice to see you. I love Allentown. I am a PA girl myself. I'm from a lot of places, so I love Pennsylvania. Bruiser Bites, you're here. Natalie, you're in the chat. Crafts and Crime. Patricia, wow, we've got a bunch of people in here that lots of regulars, lots of intuitives. So good to see you. Why am I doing a live with Val? Because I needed to do something a little bit different where we just talk about whatever you want to talk about, plus what I want to talk about. And I think I'm going to have a special guest come on, but we will see. We'll see. She promised me she would. So what I'm going to do first is just let you know what I'm going to be doing tonight. We're going to be talking about past questions you have on cases. We'll make predictions, so very casual on what's going on in the world today. So feel free to shoot me some questions. Now we're going to go to the slide that shows you how to pull your solar return chart. Very important to do this because then you'll understand what I'm talking about. And this is when you pull your birth chart on AstroSeek. And then in the top right, you're going to click solar return for the last year that you've had your birthday. If you haven't had it yet, you're going to pull your 2023 chart. And I've got a bunch of classes coming up. And if you'd like me to show you around your solar return chart, you can go to Astrology with Val.as.me. I can't talk tonight. Oh, snap out of it, Val, and sign up for classes, or you can sign up for a reading with me. And I think I'm just too excited because I'm at a pool party and that's where I belong because I'm a Pisces. So you'll have to tell me where you feel like you belong. Where is the place that's most comfortable for you? I like outdoor parties with water. So Angel D, you say, I struggle to read your charts on your own. And it's like you get lost. I totally get that. And I'm going to show you a little bit. It can be very complicated. There's lots of lines. But I will say that if you look at your solar return chart in any year and you have a nice moon trine to maybe your ascendant or your ascendant ruler, you have a little bit more help that year and people are just looking out for you. I love that aspect when I see it. So, oh, Frankie Blue, you like animals. Yes. Angel D, you like the beach with no one else around. I hear you. With a book and no men. No men. And let's see, Bruiser, you say a special place on the river, nobody around but my family. I was camping up in New Hampshire and we got a tent and it was next to like this stream and it was so relaxing. I had never been in that kind of environment before where you could just sleep next to a stream. That was pretty cool. Meg, mountains, that's very Leo. Sometimes that's Capricorn too. So got to get up high, you know. Crafts and Crime, my special place is my car. I have to say I can totally relate because I can turn up my music and, just do my own thing. Go as fast as I want. There's a little freedom in the car. So that's very Sagittarius. Having a little, if you like the speed and if you like your car, third house type of stuff. All right. So what you want to do is press solar only when you're in that solar return. So you only have the planets inside your chart. So here is a solar return chart. And a lot of people have been talking about this person. It's a pretty important chart. And you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, this looks like a lot of different energy that this person is having to experience. Now, this is pretty much the most important, I would say, month for this person right here, and it's in Cancer. So what we would do this would start October 20th. Would look to where the moon is because the moon rules this last month before his birthday. And so we're going to look at the moon. The moon is in Aquarius. And so this can mean a lot of things. It can mean a big shock, it can mean a nice surprise. It can mean things like the internet, social media, and things that move very, very fast. And just you blink an eye and it's, you have everything you want, but you can see a lot of red lines here. And the person that we're talking about is Joe Biden. He has had quite a month. You know what I think often about Leos, and this goes for Meghan Markle and a lot of other people who they have Leo qualities, is that they are here in this universe, on this earth, to experience Leo types of energy. So you can be king, you can be queen, but you are going to have to endure bullying. And I'll tell you, there's nobody who has endured bullying as much as Joe Biden, especially in this past month. And not to get political or anything, but you can see it in the media. It's pretty nasty and bad and sarcastic, lots of name calling. Yes, Angel D, you got it. And so this is going to be his prediction. So it says a lot of things, but what's really interesting is they are calling for him to step down and he's not. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that nobody sees, which is if he steps down, he can't readily transfer all of that money that he's generated to another candidate unless it's Kamala. And a lot of people are going to pull their donations if Kamala steps in. So it is just a beehive, basically, and very difficult if he wanted to step down. So even his wife is getting bullied, saying, there's elder abuse, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Conservatives have their media contacts, and their media is putting out their narratives and their name calling. And it is so toxic and nasty in the news right now. It's, I would say, reflecting in this chart. Yeah, lots of comedy skits. Yes. Leo being comedy. So, and that's a really good point because Leo is a fun loving person, somebody who likes fun. Leo is fun. But if it is not behaving properly, and every sign has the good and the challenging side to it, the bad side. And so Leo is making fun. You will see people not only making fun, but Leo is also, it represents children. So it's acting like a child, acting like you're on the playground. So we're seeing a lot of that. Yeah, I agree. So I think I've got my guest coming in, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about Biden. Oh, I know she's going to weigh in on this, but this is Grace, and we're so excited. We haven't talked to Grace in a while, and let me add her. Hey, Grace, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. I hope everybody else can hear you. Let me see here.
Is it a little low?
No, it sounds good to me. You guys, let me know if you can't hear Grace. What is happening? How is the Pisces right now?
Well, I'm really under its spell right now. I have Neptune on my AC, so
That
I have been living in a very mystical world lately.
which could be good, but it's tough. It's not easy. It's idealizing the wrong thing sometimes, or it's just idealizing. I say to people who are going through this in their solar return with maybe a trine to Jupiter, which is like a partner or something like that, to enjoy it. Enjoy the rose-colored glasses, but don't take it too seriously. Yet, sometimes it can mean other things. It's not just a dream. Any other thing that you're experiencing?
I'm just experiencing a lot of synchronicity, a lot of very vivid dreams, and I'm not a person who remembers dreams, but I will wake up in the morning with just remembering this incredibly vivid dream.
Wow.
And I have just I'm not really sure how to explain it, but I have just been really blessed, and I'm really discovering a much more spiritual side to myself, which
Mhm.
has been sorely cut off from me for, I want to probably say, the last 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
So it's a
not really
whole
sure what's going on with my chart with that.
yeah,
But
that's a whole different thing. Hey, golden rule.
right, but that's how I'm feeling, like I'm just floating on air. I'm just, well, not even on air, on water. I'm just, I get up every morning, I do a nice hot tub,
Oh, that's good.
and
That's
there's
good.
always sprinklers going off around me, and we're always being invited to go on boats, and
Oh, great.
it's been an incredible summer so far.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's at least something. It's hard, especially for the fixed signs, because they like that structure. They mind more when Neptune is affecting them. Neptune is going over, it's been going back and forth over my Mercury right now. So it's kind of like being in a pool and just swimming along, and you're either going to be happy about it or you're not. And Angel D, yeah, I decided that I'm going to call this the Saturday night pool party. So I'm glad you guys could come in, and everybody's excited to see you, Grace, or hear you. Now, what are some of your thoughts? Can I ask you about Biden first? And of course, we won't get too political, but anything, I know you pull charts all the time. What are some of your observations?
I've really been looking at this, and he's in a Saturn swing right now. When Saturn comes back,
Hey,
he's
Lana.
going to be stronger. So yeah, he's looking weak right now,
Yeah.
but we just need to hang on until Saturn goes direct again, and you're going
Ugh,
to see a lot more strength in him. He is not going to step down.
no, no. I think that's true, and I think that here's I'm just gonna, and I know you're probably not looking at the chart, but I'm gonna explain it in a second. Let me just add it. Hold on one second. Okay, what I'm getting is that he can, I mean, without getting too political, it does look like he can win. But there is something that's coming up in August. Uranus is squaring the month for him. Actually it's in a big T square. There's something that is going to be completely shocking for him. Now, this could be somebody who's forcing him to change in some way, some kind of big uncomfortable change. But it doesn't look like it's going to work. Um, what do you think about that? Do you think that's possible in August? And like, I wonder what kind of change it is. I mean, it is Uranus is in Taurus, so it could have something to do with, the finances and the donors and all of that. But it looks like a zap to me. And Uranus is opposing Mars in his solar return. So that's an ouchie, you know?
I wonder if there's going to be some news about Kamala.
Ah, okay. Like changing his running mate.
Possibly.
Okay. And
But what I find interesting is that the the asteroid Trumper is also hanging around
okay.
his Uranus as well. And if it goes to join um, the actual Uranus, I don't know how fast that particular asteroid goes, then it's going to once it joins his Uranus, there's a good possibility it's going to be opposite his Mars. We talked about this on the Omen show, and he is the president who is next in line. Even if he wins again, he's still that same president,
That's
that began in 2020. And
2020
those odd years, the president that becomes president in an odd year,
is
and
a
it seems to run in a 20-year pattern,
yeah.
gets either assassinated and or an attempt. Last attempt
And
was well, we skipped one in 20 in 2000. Bush was 2000.
but there's just too much Scorpio energy here. He's Scorpio, but we've got like people who are fighting, people who have guns. I mean, I think these are Trumpsters or people who are very, very angry and don't feel like they have control. The sun makes its way up to part of fortune through a point of Thales to the 10th house. So you think we should look at the Trump asteroid?
The one that I use for Trump is spelled Troemper, and it's pronounced Trumper.
Okay.
And I don't have the number right off.
Okay, I'll put it.
Top of my
I'll
head,
find
but
it and put it in the description.
right. But that's the one that I use, and I have been very successful, or at least I'm not going to say successful, but I have been. I have happily noticed a lot of action on
With
that particular asteroid hitting in both Joe Biden and Donald Trump's natal and solar charts. So this is going to be a very interesting year for both of them. But I want to plug a new
Okay.
asteroid that I have been learning about, and I have been having so much fun going back and looking at old charts. And
Uh-huh.
this one is called Folsom, Folsom.
Okay.
And it represents jail or prison.
Oh, I love that. Well, you're a Pisces. Of course, we're going to love jail and prison, at least
Love,
be
love,
able
love
to
it.
predict, 12th house.
But go back and look at charts where people have been arrested. I have a chart on a case that's near and dear to my heart, and one of the main players got arrested.
Oh,
And not for the crime that he needs to be arrested for, but he got arrested. And
okay.
I just happened to catch the exact time of that arrest. And
Really?
this was back before they had the body cams and things like that. And
Mhm.
when I pulled up his chart, that chart for that arrest, Folsom was right on the AC.
All right, we're going to have to use it, and I would love to use
So
it. I'm going to use it
it
for,
just
yeah.
gave me shivers. It was like, oh my gosh, when you see perfect confirmation like that, you're like, oh, yeah, we're going to use that one a lot. Um,
Now, is there another one that you were using besides Folsom before that had to do with prison or imprisonment? I kind of remember there was.
well, yes. And now it doesn't necessarily mean prison or imprisonment, but it does mean arrest.
That's it,
So
de-arrest, right?
de-arrest, it's
Yeah.
a D with an apostrophe and then the word arrest. And
Mhm.
that means to stop.
Okay.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be convicted, but that's a good one if you want to look for when will they be arrested, when will they be stopped.
Okay. And
And
what
that's a
about,
fascinating one to look at, the Rex Heuermann charts.
okay.
That one was very prominent when he got arrested. So
And what about, like if we were looking at Biden, how about like an assassination or something? Not that we would want, of course, to talk too much about that, but any thoughts on that?
I haven't really thought about that, like assassination uh,
Mhm.
asteroids, just like in particular. You'd look for,
I have to look that up.
of course, a lot of the ones meaning to kill or be killed. Look for the 22 degree. Look for
Exactly.
Leto,
Yeah.
Leto, which means to kill or be killed.
Right.
You can look for the three fates, which is Lachesis and you know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yep. Looking up, I've got Biden's chart up here. Let me see if I can pull.
Guelpho, which is number 97, and Lachesis, which is number 120, and then Atropos, which is 273.
Okay.
So Clothos is the one that um, she decides how long you'll live, and then Lachesis decides when you'll die, and then Atropos is the one that actually does the killing.
Okay. Yeah, he has, I'm looking at Biden's right now. I don't see anything. Um, he's got Palace on in Uranus. And yeah, I don't really see any much there, but something to look into. I definitely want to look at Karen Reed when it comes to jail or something like that. We'll have to do that when I can
Oh,
pull
yes.
that.
I do not have a good time for her. So if somebody wants to throw a time up for me,
Yeah,
Um,
it was hard to find a time, so I'm thinking, maybe just use the crime chart and
mhm.
see what we got. Also, TD made a really good comment. Isn't that when the convention happens in Chicago when it's August? So he had better. Not to say that they're not going to have the best security, but there is most definitely a threat there, even though you would think that it wouldn't be the conservatives because, they think that if Biden does run, that Trump actually has a shot. So I don't
I
know
don't
how
know,
that's
but
going to go.
he's been telegraphing that a lot, and I've always felt like that Trump is the kind of person that if he accuses somebody else of something, then
Mhm.
it's something that he either did or he's thinking about doing. And he's been making a lot of noise about saying that Biden tried to have him assassinated. And so that's a
Oh,
little worrying for me, but I don't
okay.
see it as anything that's actually going to happen. Like there may
Interesting.
be an attempt. I'm not going to say that there won't be an attempt,
So
but I
just
don't see a death.
listening to him might give us clues. And here I'm putting up a news item. Time to go, Joe. There's been like lots of really big bullying, telling him to step down. There's just a lot of frustration because they think he's weak, and this is so typical because the U.S. is in Sadi Sati, which means the U.S. is weak. It's old. It's in that dark place for a few years. And I talked to somebody who is from Venezuela and lives in the U.S. and says this is kind of like what we went through. But without getting too political and all, I think this is the Sadi Sati phase. I think it's just a yuck period that we're going to get out of. Now, I am moving on here. If you want to talk to me real quick, it's been a while since we talked about Sebastian. Do you remember that case?
Yes, I do. Let me just say one last thing,
Yeah.
just to kind of to give everybody some hope.
Hmm.
Um, right now, Pluto just went retrograde, and it's going to go back into Capricorn. It's going to make its final, you know, foray into Capricorn, and it's going to pull out more corruption. We're going to finally, but that may be what we need to finally get rid of that element. We'll be dealing with different types of corruption,
Uh-huh.
probably more societal since it's Aquarius. But
Yes.
yes, Sebastian, that is getting very intense and interesting, don't you think?
I do. I think that the police are frustrated. The police don't look good in the crime chart. There's a T square. There is a lot of Uranus and Aquarius in there, which I think is really interesting. It's been a while. So now with Sebastian, he, just to give everybody a quick recap, he was
I-
last seen in, go ahead.
Is this his birth chart that you've got up or his solar return that
This
you've
is
got up?
this is the crime chart.
Okay, this is the
Yep.
crime chart. It says solar return 2025.
This is the solar return for the crime chart. Sorry, I should have
Oh, yes.
more
Okay.
clear.
All right.
Which is, what I've been doing lately, which is it's a different way of doing it, which I think is interesting with that. Whenever I see a Scorpio rising, I always think of Bob Saget's crime chart. And it makes me
Hmm.
so mad because I really feel, not to diverge on the topic, but I feel like he was murdered. And I mean, it was obvious from that crime chart, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but any thoughts on Bob Saget?
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you that he
Something
may
up.
have not been murdered. It may have been more about manslaughter kind of thing. But
Okay.
like I don't think they intended to go in there and kill him. Is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
something got out of hand. But when I see Scorpio rising in a crime chart, that says
Mhm.
to me this is going to be some kind of mystery. There's a
Oh.
big mystery. Somebody's lying, or this is going to be a huge mystery.
Mm.
And but let me point out to you that we've got the South Node at 17 degrees Libra, which is the arrest degree.
Oh,
So
and
I'm wondering if there's going to be Now, this isn't going to be a new arrest, but there may be somebody who was arrested for something in the past.
And with the south node at 17, the nodes are always retrograde, so we can say it's 18 too. So that
Right, and
would
18 degree is the arrest degree. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
okay. And so that is like, yeah, that's the evil truth. So here's the crime chart, solar return as if it's next year. And
Yeah.
what I am seeing is that, first of all, if the parents seem to be involved or they're being accused of being involved,
Hmm.
we like to look at the the lord of the MC, which is the mom, and that would be the son, and then also the lord of the fourth, which is the dad. And I ponder after I look at those symbols. I'm like, okay, sun in Pisces is the mom. So, maybe she was drinking wine that night. That's Pisces. Maybe she's celebrating something. We don't know. Just a guess. And then Uranus represents the dad, Chris Proudfoot. He was actually going through a lot of stuff with his ex. So the detectives looked into that to try to figure out what his state of mind was. And it was pretty stressed. It was, Uranus represents divorce. So that was kind of his environment at the time. And there was talk that he even wanted to divorce his current wife, which is Sebastian's mom. So anyway, it looks like they were both kind of in a bad state of mind. But check this out. When I see the sun, Mercury, and Saturn together, I almost feel like that is a confession. Um, Mercury is to confess or to speak, but with Saturn, it's like confesses later. Like there's going to be a quite some time that goes by before she confesses. So I wonder if there's an asteroid for confessions.
There is, let me think, to confess. It's
I mean, Mercury is to speak, so we have that.
yeah. Oh gosh, I would have remembered if you hadn't asked me.
I know, I know. I love to put you on the spot, but
It starts with an A.
uh-huh.
Uh,
I can't remember.
It'll come to me. But also look for Sagittarius 28 or between 26 and 28,
Okay.
specifically Sagittarius 27. That's the whistleblower's degree.
Yes.
But take a note that Saturn in this chart is at 9 Pisces. Saturn represents the body, and 9 degrees Pisces is considered the body in the ditch degree, which
I
is often a degree that is prominent in charts where people have been found literally in ditches, just not like buried, but just like
know that.
dumped on the side of the road kind of a thing.
Yeah, and what's really weird is, whenever we say Mercury is, I mean, it's in there. There
That
is
and
a
that's the kid.
clue. Well, exactly. It's a younger child, but also that there's a twin. Now, what's weird is we have mom in the middle of the body and the twin, and it's in Pisces, showing some kind of body of water, perhaps,
Hmm.
or that the body goes missing. But the twin is very interesting. How maybe maybe it's some kind of a clue, but it does seem now. What about that? The fact that it's in the fourth house of home, so maybe there's something that has to do with their home.
Yeah.
Could it be? Could it be pretty close? I don't know, but it could also be because it's a solar return. It's kind of like the end of the matter. So maybe that's just what it is. But the biggest thing that I see as I would say, challenge is that T square. And that's what you're going to see in any solar return chart, including your own. You're going to look at a T square. Hopefully, you don't have one from, the year that you're looking at. But in this case, we've got Mars, which is the police, and there's Venus next to it. So it looks like a female cop or something. And she quits, Aquarius is to quit. Third house is not giving up information that she has. Lots of stuff about evidence that's stuck. And that's not good. We want to be able to see something. Now, the moon in Virgo, interesting, Virgo's pets, it's trining Uranus, and that shows something that is fast, something that might have to do with help from someone. So it could be a
Mhm.
worker of some sort. And I think I pulled that out the last time. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think that it's possible that they're going to find Sebastian?
Being in that fourth house, just doesn't seem like he's that far away or that.
I
I mean, he'll be in water, so there may not be a lot,
know.
but the evidence may be fairly preserved because
Right.
I think maybe the evidence is what's going to cause that confession.
Let me just quick say hi to Tana. Nice to see you from Canada. And Frankie, you say Mercury, cool. I'm a triple Gemini with Fortune. Yes, Frankie, and you love pets, so that's interesting.
Mhm.
Patricia asking, is there a truth asteroid?
Yes, there are lots of truth asteroids,
Okay.
including the asteroid Truth. But
Okay.
there's asteroid Alethea, that means truth,
Mm-hmm.
and then the asteroid Lie can show when someone's telling the truth or not. So, like
Aha.
if it's conjuncted, then that's probably not the truth. But if it's opposite, it could be that they're telling the truth about a lie.
Right. So
Um,
we're fighting lies.
or they're a lie fighter.
Okay.
Um, those are the two top ones, though. Alethea is actually stands for truth, but there's now a truth asteroid too.
Interesting. And Angel D, you said there was a psychic reading months ago, and I think this is about the Sebastian case, and they heard S say, "I'm home," allegedly hearsay speculation. So home seems to be some kind of a clue there. But
Mhm.
do you have time for one more?
Sure, one quick one.
Okay. Yep. Karen Reed, the verdict. First of all, were you following that?
I didn't follow it very closely.
Okay.
That just wasn't one that I just happened to sink my teeth into. So no, I did watch some of the actual trial.
Yes.
Did follow some of the actual evidence, but I didn't follow any of the charts. I just really haven't seen anything.
I'm gonna just cover it generally,
You're
so
gonna blow my
don't
mind.
you don't have to speak anything specifically. But I'm pulling up the solar return chart for.
Okay.
Um, I think this is for.
I was not surprised that
No,
it was a hung jury.
yes, but
Not with the evidence I've heard.
well, what's coming out? I think there's going to be. First of all, there's a big war. It's starting again. Among the people in Massachusetts because there are people who are so fervent and fervently on the side of Karen Reed. And then there's even like a turtle that was killed and put in on the deck, I think, of one of the witnesses. And so now the police are investigating that. And now they're saying, oh, well, you're investigating the turtle more than you investigated John O'Keefe, the victim. Like lots of that kind of stuff going around. But the other thing, too, is her lawyer was seen outside of a restaurant, and the word is canoodling as they were posing for pictures gleefully. I don't even think they had gotten a verdict yet, and he had his hands on her, like on her breast. At least it looked like that. Yeah, I mean, it was super like wow, uh, and I've been to that Smith and Wollensky restaurant. I know exactly where they were, and they were heading in, and somebody just pulled their phone out, and they were like, "That didn't look appropriate," and then they took video and whatever. Anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm showing the solar return chart, and what is super interesting is for her. Now we're in the fifth house here, and look at how Uranus is freedom and how she was able to get freedom with the court, the ninth house. So Uranus comes in next month. She gets some kind of other win here, which is part of fortune. We always like a part of fortune trine. And there's something that has to do with her sixth house. So it's possible she could get an actual job, which is that, well, it's the moon in ninth house. She might be sitting down for a 2020 report or something like that, which would be the ninth house. But part of fortune is right in Algol territory. This is the Medusa becomes famous. And what I thought was really interesting too is in the month, the fifth house represents restaurant. In Taurus represents food. Jupiter would represent somebody who maybe she had a secret relationship with, and it's squaring Mars and Venus, which is a very angry woman. Well, I'm thinking that's probably his wife. But what I think might happen, not to go off on that tangent, it's possible. I mean, it's against the rules to do that. He could be disbarred for that if they do some kind of investigation, which could really change the course of the case. So we're gonna have to follow this next trial, and I think they have a date this month to go over when the next trial date's going to be. It's
I
gonna.
think she just likes playing with fire.
I agree. Some people do. Yes, Lana K, thank you. They have a status hearing on the 22nd. I wonder if we can look up anything on that day. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that when I get a chance. Probably not tonight. Penny D, nice to see you. Meg, yikes. I know. The turtle we're talking about. Yeah, the turtle was put on a journalist property with the nickname Turtle Boy. Okay.
Oh,
I thought for some reason there was I thought it was a witness. So
such a mess. That case got to be such
it's
a
messy.
mess so quick.
It's a big, big mess. And Angel D says femme fatale, in my honest opinion. So anyway,
Well,
thank you.
speaking of
Yes.
animals, I have got to go feed mine. They're about to
Yes.
claw my door down.
Thank you so
But
much.
let me just plug my blog real quick.
Yes, please.
ForensicAstro.com. Y'all go over there, read the cases,
Okay.
ask me questions, ask me to put up cases. I'm just about run dry of old cases. I like the really old ones. So
okay.
Y'all come see me. You hear?
Old cases, and it's forensicastro.com.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Grace.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right. So let's get back to some of these charts. And I thought that was pretty wild. That fifth house would be the month that would represent the restaurant. And that would definitely show how there would be some big, big surprises. She would be it's almost like a free to go. And that was all in her solar return. So this would be the month where Uranus represents to be independent. So these solar return charts, wow. Like you've got to love when you have Uranus in a trine or a sextile. It's like you're either getting independence from something or you're going really fast. No matter what it is, if it's money, you're making fast money. If you want to go through a divorce, and Jupiter is trining Uranus, you're going through a fast divorce. Getting a job, you go through the process really fast. So when Uranus is on your side, it's a very good thing. All right. So, and just to recap, we were talking about the transit progressed right around the time that they were going to give the verdict. And you can see that this is Detective Proctor, and there's a square here to Aquarius. And so you also have Mars conjunct Uranus, which means to quit. It means to be fired. So this would definitely show the prediction of what would happen to Proctor. So not just a big surprise that the verdict, that there was a mistrial, but also that he would be let go. All right, so we're going to do some Taylor Swift predictions. I haven't done this in a while, so we got to do a little bit of a recap. This is Taylor Swift's solar return. We started December 13th here. So this is going to be her 2023 chart, and then it begins 2024 in the middle of the chart. So now we are in the seventh house. So a couple of things are happening for her. uh, what you would do first is look at what planet rules that house. And it would be Pluto up on the top of the MC. So if you were, a few months back and you're like, it's March, and you're like, I wonder what that is, because Pluto is right on her MC and it's trining part of fortune, which is a massive success. This would be the highlight of her year. And Pluto represents a monarchy, or somebody who is a king. So you would think it would be Leo, but Pluto is definitely the monarchy. So this was really good for her, and this would be the month that would kick in. With Mars in the 7th, she's had some people come out and we're like, okay, Mars. Well, what's Mars? Who's Mars? Mars is the ruler of the 12th house of hidden enemies. So this shows, and in Sagittarius, it can show American hidden enemies. Um, Sometimes Sagittarius is foreign too. Could also be court types of matters. People want to sue you for certain things. And there is a square to Black Moon Lilith. And this means, and I was trying to come up with the best word for Black Moon Lilith, because I'm always like, oh my God, I never really give it a good descriptor. And I think the best descriptor is a schemer. And so these are her hidden enemies. They are scheming and they are mad. They're saying that she bullies the young performers so that they can't be successful. So that's like a little fight that's happening right now. So then she's going to move over to the 8th house on July 13th. A lot of stuff happening there. And it looks as if there's something about friendship. 11th house is friendships. Neptune is here. It looks like, there could be a friend was supposed to visit her and didn't show up or disappeared somehow. So that can happen. Might be a friend that got too drunk. But also Uranus is right on her ascendant. This is really important because if you have something like this is somebody who is seen. This is how you are seen this year. Uranus is somebody who's talking about breakups a lot. That's all she's doing. She's talking about breakups and she's singing about them and she's going around the world and doing it. So that's really kicking in there for her all year. And then a really nice part of fortune in the 1st house. This is somebody, it's very, very good when you have that in your solar return year, because people see you as successful, and for her, it would be, she's just in the height of fame. Uranus also represents her 11th house of friendships, networks, and hopes and dreams. So her hopes and dreams are happening all right out in front of her. Anything in the ascendant for your year, for your solar return year, is going to show who's around you. What's happening, and there could be a lot of foreign people in front of her. Uranus means foreign names, and so for the most part, it looks good. Although Uranus is someone who shocks. Uranus is to shock, and also a surprise comes for her. So something that's unexpected will be manifesting for her. I wanted to just go over one thing. This is an example of a solar return chart. This is hers for next year, starting in December. Looks pretty outstanding because you have one thing we talk about in my member shows is the Pluto and the Venus together is tons and tons and tons of money. Yes, I was talking about Prince William. He represented Pluto right on her MC. That was probably the biggest thing, I think, for her career. And Lana Kate, always here for Taylor. Loved her last album, surprisingly. Lana, you say, my transit chart shows all this awesomeness, but not really in my life. I need to look at my solar return. Exactly. You can't get really down into the energy unless you look at your solar return. In my opinion, you can still find information from the transit chart, but it's more basic, I think. Angel D, what shows pregnancy? Oh, good one. Pluto. So Pluto is on the MC. Maybe she's singing about pregnancy, but because of this chart, which starts December 2024, it sure looks like her significant other is having a tough year. So that's going to take a toll on them, I think. And the reason I say that is because whenever a female, wants to look at the male, you're going to look at Jupiter and you're also going to look at the Lord of the Seventh. So for him, it would be Uranus and Jupiter. So it's kind of half and half. There are just insanely famous things that they're doing next year. Yet he is having a setback, which is a stop. You can see Saturn, he is not able to do something that he wants. And there's a T square there. So she's going to have to deal with that next year. And he might change. He might do something like he might be depressed. He might not want to accompany her on all of the things that he wants to do. But with the Uranus and the moon at the top of the 10th house, for her, it looks like her man is doing something with her for both of their careers. And it's just incredibly successful. Why incredibly? Because you have a trine to Pluto. And that is, Pluto is this is more money than God right here that they're making. And it's dream money, which is Neptune. So I'm not sure exactly what that is. It looks like a very famous project, yet it could get in the way of his own career. And that's what that Saturn is. Now, looking at the North Node is what you get this year, or for her next year. Neptune next to Neptune is getting a dream, this could be a marriage proposal. North Node, ninth house, marriage, lots of idealizing, and it could be fake because North Node, funny enough, represents fake. And you can see that when you look at Meghan Markle's chart because everybody sees her. She's got North Node in Leo in her first house, which would show a fake princess, or at least everybody sees her. Not everybody, but the world, they like to say that in a sense. But that's her destiny. She's supposed to be going towards that, and it's very uncomfortable. And so we can all look at something like that and see that for ourselves. Where's your North Node? It's probably pretty difficult to move towards it. You kind of have to dance around it. That's what I always say. So that's really what her chart looks like. There's a lot more things we could probably break down, but with Uranus and the moon, it's sensational. It is something that it's almost like a famous astrologer. The famous astrologer is telling them both how to make money. And she also has, because North Node is in the ninth house of, I would say, headlines, that would be that she's receiving headlines. But it has something to do with Aries. So this could be a court case too. This could be something where, she's getting sued again for something that she doesn't think that she did, but there might be a war there. Looks pretty good for her. Looks pretty good. So the only T square that's happening is the one with her MC or her career. And somebody is fighting her. Mars is her biggest worry next year. Next year, meaning December 2024 to December 2025, from birthday to birthday. This guy, I don't think comes in for a while, but it looks like a court matter, or it could be a foreign guy. It's a bully. It's definitely a bully. And the biggest bully of all could be a former president. But that's something that she might have to deal with next year. So definitely bullying. It's interesting with Taylor because she has been bullied. Then she turned around, she turned her revenge around. And now she, in a sense, somebody might say that she bullies. So with that Leo energy, she's got South Node in in Leo, meaning that it's very comfortable for her. She likes to stay in the Leo energy, and she even looks like a cat. But it's something where you have to be careful, because just like, you want to be queen, you want to be king of something, you're also potentially going to be a bully. Okay, Lana K, anything at the top of your head that would represent a move or moving houses? And that would be, you would look at the fourth house, and that would be, sometimes you can look at the third house if you're in an apartment. So fourth house would be, let's see where that Pluto for, and I know you're probably asking for yourself, but I'm just going to look at her. It looks like other people's houses because it's in Scorpio. And it looks like the family house, a group of houses for her. But yeah, what you would want to do is you look at North Node, and if it's in the fourth house, or if there's a trine with the North Node, because that's what you're going to get to, let's say it's a planet in the fourth. There's some kind of connection with North Node in the fourth house. It means that you will acquire a new home, possibly. I would say probably. Third house is an apartment too. So, if you have Neptune in the third house, this could be your dream apartment. And in the fourth, it could be your dream house. For her, the South Node is what you let go of. Third, I'm afraid to say, it looks like South Node's, Libras are having such a hard time. South Node is letting go of something. So for her, it could be third house's neighbor, sibling, could be lyrics, but also it's also the truth. You're speaking your truth when South Node is in third house. So there's a possibility she's going to be speaking her truth somewhere. And where's Venus that represents that? Yeah, there's another war for her. It's another scooter type of thing where she's got to come out and defend herself, I think. And so that's going to be a little bit difficult. When you can see a difficult year, you look at the rising sign or look at the sun. In her case, it's one and the same, and she has an opposition here. So this is relationship difficulty where you want to be with your man, but you can't. Maybe he's too busy. Maybe he's, irritating you or whatever, but it can be very, very difficult. And I think that's all I have. So, hey, Serena, nice to see you. Sure, Lana. Bruiser, I love Taylor, but I'm sorry. I feel like Travis is clout chasing. I hope I'm wrong. It's just a vibe I get. Yeah. I think that she might ride that wave for a while, but definitely would be smart to consider it fully, for sure. Erin, you say, I have a Leo North Node 7th house opposite of Megan's North Node. Oh, that's interesting. Yes. So that's in your birth chart. So you would be, in this lifetime, you're going to be getting partnerships. Partners are probably very important to you. You might even get partners that maybe it's easier for you than the average person. North Node is also foreign as well. So it could mean that you might have people around you with a foreign last name or are foreign, and that it can be a destined relationship. So that's oh, you heard that Taylor's ex got engaged. The one album was about, oh yeah, I really liked him. I thought he was great for her. So hey, Lisa, nice to see you. And yeah, we're going to do this every Saturday. And, I just thought I'd try it out to see if we could skip around a little bit. And it's going to be a pool party. So if you have any suggestions, what you'd like to hear or see, just let me know. And thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing this video. I'm going to do some editing too, so you can see some of the things a little bit easier when you play this back. I hope that you join me tomorrow. I'm going to be on for the members. It'll be live for subscribers at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing some more relationships. And so I think you're going to be interested. I'm going to pick 3 people going through something in their relationship. So, hey, Peanut Show, thank you so much. Thanks, Natalie. Great to see everybody. See you tomorrow.